26th day of February 2024. We're so delighted to be here, especially I. I'm so delighted. It's my 24 years wedding anniversary. What a way to go this beautiful morning. Thank you so much for always joining us on ABS Television on Good Morning Anambra Show. We begin with a press review. Press review on ABS Television. This beautiful morning the Lord has made. I've been joined in the studio by Samuel Ololo and of course Nonso Orakwe, two gentlemen to help us on the press review this morning. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much for welcoming me. Good morning, dear Anambra, and congratulations on your anniversary. All right. Next year you'll be 25 a silver jubilee.
Honestly,
I tap from your blessings.
How time flies. No, so you're welcome to the studio.
Yeah, thank you. I am just looking at your outlook. Your outlook is something else. So I guess something is fishy, and you willingly announced that. So congratulations to you and your household.
All right, thank you very much. Let's run. We begin with taking a look at some of the stories making their headlines on ABS website. Mrs. Soludo to launch healthy living clubs in primary schools. Economic hardship. Ohanes Ndibo asks Southeast communities to embark on massive agricultural activities. Federal lawmaker optimistic Southeast Development Commission will improve infrastructural development. I'm so glad I have some people that work in the grassroots here to talk about grassroots development with the Southeast Development Commission. And of course, what Mrs. Soludo is doing in Anambra State. All right, shoot.
All right, it's laudable for me having healthy living clubs. Most times, we that are in the civil society space, when there are critical issues to debate on, we have always struggled with at the higher echelon, where you have notified the critical stakeholders, how do we try to board those at the grassroots,
the talent,
to also key in. And most of the times we target schools to carry out those advocacy and awareness to schools. And we've always seen the enthusiasm when we go to these secondary schools and primary schools to teach them or to educate them or increase awareness about certain salient issues. For the First Lady of Anambra State to now go beyond just awareness and sensitization in the schools, to begin to create clubs, it makes me remember when I was in my primary secondary school, when we usually had this press club, jet club, and we knew how interesting it was really. Of course, we had our leadership structures then. Every Tuesday or Thursdays, we go for our jet club. If it is for us to carry out sometimes debates, it was always interesting.
And actually, what you're saying is in order, because I remember vividly, I learned how to make weave hair when I was in secondary school. It was during MAMSA.
Yes.
You know, you will learn a lot. Some people will be sewing, making some clothes, so many things. Some people doing tie and dye and all whatnot.
So yeah, that is why I'm really applauding Mrs. Soludo for this initiative. We would want to get, Nonso would say, is catch them young.
Catch them young.
we want to see and commend the state government on catching them young. And this is then nose diving to other critical issues. I know also in the schools there are these agricultural activities that we are made to carry out. Then sometimes teachers give students portions of land. Those things, we don't see them anymore. So for Ohaneze,
you learn
Regis, how to do Regis.
Not just in classroom, but
not just in class, but use it practically. And you get this seedling. Sometimes they give you your own seedling and you have your own portion. Every time you have to go and nurse it, you have to go and tender it, water it. When you see it sprouting out, you see the excitement, you see the happiness, you take care of it. If it's spoiling, you get moody, your teacher will show you of another measure to make it come back to life. So these are things that we are really missing in our schools. So beyond, we appreciate the Southeast and the Ohaneze calling that we should go back to agriculture. I think it's the right call. Beyond agriculture being one of the highest employer of labor, it also has the potential to improve Nigeria's GDP.
Okay, let Nonso come in. You know, federal lawmaker optimistic Southeast Development Commission will improve infrastructural development.
Well, would I really say over years we've been having these lawmakers, and a whole lot has been promised, and a whole lot has been also implemented the little way they can. Okay, but I want to say that there are this kind of words or this kind of movement has been, you know, there for years, but it is not feasible. It is not feasible. So if they are optimistic to have a kind of improved infrastructures in our dear region, it has to be a collective, sincere efforts to make that happen. Why most of the times I don't really believe in mere discussions or mere what's it called, informations like this is because over the years we have had it and nothing happens. So if lawmakers in the Southeast region should
rise to the challenge.
Exactly. And get these things done. You see, when you go to Lagos, you see what is happening there. It's not only the effort of the Mr. Governor of the Lagos State that makes that happen. It is in collaboration with the representative lawmakers both in the states and in the federal that will come together and say, we need to achieve this. Now, the governor will, with his powers, will make it happen. So how many of these lawmakers knows their governor one-on-one and have this cordial relationship with the governors and even with the state legislators? No, many of them are not like that. So if Southeast region is ready, I think it's high time, it's long overdue to come together, sincerely, you know, have something on the table, on a common table, and then give Southeast region.
And if, you know, feeling the pulse of the masses to know actually what they need.
Do you get it? So it's not only flying up and down. Yesterday, on Saturday, I was coming back from Owerri, we had a function there. So as I was coming back, one of the house members, you know, overtook us on the road. So I was like, who could this be? He got to a police checking point. He came down and was asking police why this long queue. It's too much, you know. So I took time to you know, evaluate what was happening there. He took that alone, you know, gave me you know, a huge you know what's it called? He promoted my morale, you know, that this man cares to see this kind of queue and came down to ask question what was that. So if other lawmakers could be able to be looking at these little things, it's not when you build the whole mansions that there are little things the masses want you to do. Come together, let's fix Southeast region.
All right, now let's move the first paper for review, the Daily Sun newspaper. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Daily Sun newspaper. NAS considers conduct of all elections same day, with riders there moves the radical changes to electoral laws to to address confusion over electronic voting and transmission of results. Terrorism charges, IPOB leader Kanu returned to Abuja court. Now Tinubu rallies Dangote, Elumelu, others to stabilize economy. We have riders there sets up tripartite economic advisory committee and learn from President of Argentina, Atiku tells President. Supreme Court gets full complement of 21 justices. Peter Obi warns against clampdown on BDC operators. NLC alleges plot by government to disrupt nationwide protest. Afenifere asked Yoruba to shun it. Serap sues 36 governors, others over alleged failure to account for 40 trillion naira local government allocation. Lagos plans additional 2,050 BRT buses to ease transportation. Will build on huge infrastructural legacy of ex-Bello Fonwo as NGE members tour Kogi project. These are the stories making their headlines on the Daily Sun. All right, Ololo.
All right, for me, let me quickly talk about the National Assembly.
Considering conduct of elections.
Elections to be conducted on the same day. I want to go through this route, really. We are very, very good at coming up with reviewing our laws, our programs. But I want to really see a nation that will become more intentional about consequences of our actions. Because over time, we know there was a time Nigerians used to carry out elections at the same time. But people started advocating that let it be separated. There were a lot of issues because the politicians were always trying to look for ways to hijack it. We are where we are now. The National Assembly elections happen the same time with that of the presidential election, and the governorship elections happen differently too. Beyond this, we should know one thing, that our political actors are always interested to look for loopholes. No matter what we do, they're calling it radical, whatever they want to radicalize the law. But I think as citizens, we need to really come up on board to talk about the issues that is our problems, really. And these are, whenever a law or laws are made, our political actors, they don't sit down to study those laws so that they would know what to do in order not to breach the law. They study the laws to ask themselves, what can I do to circumvent this law? So we want all our lawmakers, and then the citizens, especially the civil society actors, to be up and doing. Let us be more interested in the new review of the Electoral Act so that we would cut some of these issues ahead of time. Otherwise, if we go back home and sleep, we'll still come out with a half-baked law. I am charging both the National Assembly and the citizens, especially civil society actors and the media, to really see the need to get fully involved. And we know the bill is before the House. We must know every component of the bill. And there has always been this allegation that when the House sits down, pass a bill, what they present to the public and what they eventually send to the president, there are always, what they transcend to the president, there are always discrepancies. So these are people that are really out to cause, to hijack the system. And when we notice that, we want the military, we want the police, our law enforcement agencies, we want the judiciary to be up and doing. If we continue to sleep in this nation, we would find ourselves that we will crumble. And this is now seeing itself rear up in the economic situation of, that's the state of the economy in Nigeria, because people have lost faith. People just keep looking for ways, just as they circumvented and hijacked the electoral process, and they are trying to hijack the economy of the country. And we are saying no, because of the hunger, because of the diseases, because of the sicknesses, because of poverty, because of unemployment, we are saying no. And we want to all come together to build a stronger Nigeria.
All right, Nonso?
Yes, still on that, NAS considers conduct of all elections on same day. It's not conducting the election on the same day is the problem. Okay, before now, Catch Them Young Community Initiative in partnership with the National Democratic Institute and the National Endowment for Democracy, NED. We've started a project on electoral reform in the region. It's actually across the country, but for the Southeast, is Catch Them Young that anchors that, which just the second phase of the meeting ended on Saturday. So what were we discussing? It's still on electoral reform, okay? How do we get it better? This electronic voting and all of that. Prior before that, there was a surveyor.
They equally mentioned it here. They want to address the confusion over electronic voting the whole saga, and transmission of results.
The whole saga there. The whole saga there. So what we did on, we call it Youth Forum, Southeast Youth Forum on electoral reform, which brought many youth stakeholders together. One phase was at Enugu, and second phase was at Imo, which brought Abia and Imo. For Enugu, Anambra, Ebonyi, and Enugu had it together. So we had two phases of that program. So now, what were we discussing? Before then, we had to, there's a surveyor we designed and share within the states of Southeast for young people between the age of 15 years and 35 years to fill on electoral reform. So some of these issues, who should appoint INEC chairman, okay? Who should appoint? These are what is contained in the survey and things like that. Should we make transmission of result mandatory? Okay, these are what is contained in the survey. So people should answer it so that we take the percentage of people who wants that and who does not want that. Trust me, by the time the result came out that we analyzed in the program, it was massive. People are tired. People are saying even the INEC should not be appointed by the president. You see, should not be appointed by the president. So if they are saying they want to arrange all election, every election the same day, we need to do all this background work from where I've just mentioned, who can Nigerians.
In other words, it's not just having every election done the same day is the problem.
That's not the problem. The problem is these things I'm talking about. Nigerians in diaspora, could they vote from there? Okay, how do we make our PVCs to be kind of to be smart? Is it smart? That is you can vote anywhere you are.
Smart.
Okay, to be smart. So you vote anywhere you are, whether you are in London, whether anywhere you are. You know, some of the suggestions young people made was, you know, making this voters card. I don't know how to merge it with NIN. That anytime you use it, anytime you want to use it, everything about you comes out. And there's no need for you to begin to change it every year. And how do young people who turns 18 engage in registration every day? Because every day people turns 18. If you turn 18 today, go to INEC office and then get yourself registered. Instead of having it once in a year and you have a huge
all right. I think this issue of INEC is a topic of its own.
So I'm just trying to let you know what could happen before you talk about having election the same day. So these are the whole lot of confusion. What happens at the tribunal? Okay, what happens at the tribunal? Could people who are not satisfied with primary internal democracy of a political party before the election, could they go to court and resolve that before election? Do you get it? So these are the issues that needed serious attention.
A lot of issues actually, okay. But
so that same day is not an issue.
Let's move to the next paper, because like I told you, I think we're going to make it a topic for discussion.
So finally, what I'm trying to say is this. Young people, civil societies are already in the game to put in their best make their opinion known and their voices heard, especially at the side of young people.
All right.
It's all actually ongoing now.
All right, the Daily Times newspaper. Let's see stories making their headlines in front of the Daily Times newspaper. Protest, NLC, adamant as FG, Afenifere, Ohaneze, others differ. CBN fixes duty charges to form M amidst calls for 1,000 per dollar rate. Now Tinubu meets Dangote, Lumelo others seek support for economic policies. Qatar reverses self, agrees to host investment forum. Jos Disco records 5 billion naira losses monthly. Fire destroys FCT Minister of State's residence. Naira closes week at 1,665.50 to $1 amidst demand pressure. These are the much we have in front of the Daily Times. Can we look at the protest? The NLC adamant as FG, Afenifere, Ohaneze, the others differ. You know, the federal government is trying to stop the protest, but Afenifere said that they should not listen to them. And of course, you know, we have now divergent views or conflicting, you know, issues concerning the protest.
All right, for me, the first question I would ask myself is, talking about protest, is it against the law? Does the Constitution allow the people to protest, especially when they are aggrieved over issues? For Afenifere and other groups to tell their people not to protest, I think they have the right also to tell their groups whether to or whether not to. Then it is dependent for their group members to really know if what NLC, the charge NLC is giving to protest for, it's for them or against them. But I know there's this memo or circular where DSS tried to coerce NLC to stop or to shelve the plans to protest, alleging a lot of issues, hijack, the people trying to use it to cause other form of mayhem. These are concerns, really. And what we want to see is, we want to see a more organized NLC, we want to see a more organized protest that would even be fun. Because for us, many a times the government, especially the president this time around, they are filled with sycophants, people who have so covered the eyes of the president that they think they have given a verdict or they have given a law and then it's working well, not knowing that there are issues all around it. And we know, prior to election, the president, President Tinubu, said he does not visit social media anymore because they abuse the living hell out of him. So I want to imagine if he still visits social media.
What will he say today?
No, that's what he said. So I want to imagine if he still visits social media to know the impulse of the citizens. So this protest would be a very, very strong way to call his attention to it. And for these groups to start telling NLC, I also know that TUC last week had divergent opinion with NLC, that NLC was not carrying them along. These are really issues. If I'm to suggest to NLC, I would say that we must have to really go about to make that protest, if I am to suggest. Because the hunger rate is high, poverty is high, unemployment cannot be abated, a lot of it. So we need to really make the government know that the citizens are tired. Why should they be spending money on yacht? Why should they be spending money on their constituency, personal expenses? Whereas what concerns the common good of the people are not given full attention. However, in protesting, NLC, even if it is to get those who are for them to put on a white cloth or a yellow cloth or a blue cloth as a means of identification, or, I mean, it would be so organized that each of the components of NLC would have to wear a particular kind of clothes for that protest. This is a way of organizing protest, really. So that if hoodlums come in, you will know that this person is not putting on this clothes, and you know the people fomenting trouble. Let's not forget that if you are protesting, even the government themselves can sponsor counter-protest and send some people into your group to scatter it, and then they say people have caused damages. So this is a way NLC can protect itself and its image. But in all, I think we need to make the government of the day know that Nigerians are suffering, and enough of that.
Quickly, let's go to Vanguard newspaper because our time is fast spent here. Let's run. Job losses, factory closures loom as unsold goods pile up. That's coming from Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN. We have riders there. Naira plunges 254% in 8 months. Existence of MSMEs further threatened. Asbon speaking, CBN should adopt managed flotation of Naira, CPPE. Qatar makes U-turn to host investment forum during Tinubu's visit. We also have Edo Guba, 15 men, 1 woman angling to succeed Obaseki. A forex crisis clamped down on BDC will worsen situation. That's coming from Peter Obi. Monday interview, while time is running out for Tinubu to do the right thing. That's coming from our own Ben Obi. Anti-hardship rally, Falana Rights, AGF seeks protection for NLC protesters. Now, Nonso, please quickly respond to any of the issues that is of interest to you.
Before I will touch the big headline on this.
Okay.
Let me just ask a question. What's the difference between protesting and going on strike? Is strike part of the protest? You see, there are level of anger in people that when you spice it, it will cause people to go on strike. Because I've now checked people about how many days ago, is it last week or last 2 weeks? I saw people in Ogun State protesting about hunger in the town on channels. I don't know. Now, if protest has a way of, in fact, do you know our leaders have taken protest as their what's it called, as their motivator to do more evil? Is a kind of something that makes them to do that which people anti-development. Okay? That is what our leaders have grown to.
You think so?
So, but I feel if NLC shuts down activities for 2 weeks, 2 weeks, no going back, it's because people are, I don't know if they have a way of going back to take some bribes to recall strikes that they have placed earlier. You all know when these strikes were announced. And all of a sudden, they will announce strike in the morning, in the afternoon. In the night, they will call it off. So the strike might not really, the protest might not give us what we want. Until we go on strike, we will not get it right. So now, and that is, let me join it with job losses, factory closures, looms as unsold goods piled up. Why wouldn't it pile up? There is no light. I was struggling to fetch water 2 days ago. In fact, on Wednesday, I had to leave Enugu after the program. I would have East Enugu, Gaba, Owerri. But I had to stop over here in order to make sure I'm kutelin de miri. Wait, nothing. I don't even see where to fetch. I had to carry my motor almost aroma here to get miri bunalon de bem. So can you imagine Afia, why would Afia not pile up products of people? Call it drugs, call it anything. So it will pile up because the economy of the country is bad, and nobody, our leader seems to, they are not doing anything about it. If you know these things is beyond you, why not call for help? Because we have never had it this way. Honestly, since I was born, I've never seen things like this in Nigeria, where people are dying on a daily basis. You see someone dressed or machama dressed man of 1,000 naira. Somebody got a job yesterday after church, after this Sunday mass. After mass, I had an engagement in the church. After speaking to the church, I came out with Okabasa. Somebody rushed me with about 3 kids.
Congratulations, now they're benign. But he doesn't have money to transport himself to the job location. How much is that? 8,000 naira. I don't know him, but I saw those kids. They have prayed. He showed me the congratulatory message on the phone, but he doesn't have money to go to the job location. So it's so bad that, you know, it's good man is complaining about it, but I want to advise them. They should, will you ask them to stop producing? So they should also be part of the severe protest or even the strike that we are talking about. When these factories are shut down like 1 month, like 1 week, 2 weeks, I think the federal government will sit up.
All right, let's run the Punch newspaper. I think we take 2 papers at a time. Let's look at the Punch newspaper. We take the Punch and of course the Nation. NLC protest, presidency, police issue fresh warnings as 65 groups pull out. Don't disrupt commercial activities, vehicular movements. Lagos CP tells protesters. Protest illegal, saves presidency. CSOs, NLC alleges government plot to disrupt demonstration. Food smuggling, customs to man 1,500 illegal routes with drones. Okay, forex crisis threatens modular refinery, 25 billion naira daily crude import. Quickly, let's see the stories in front of the Punch newspaper. Jimo Ibrahim trains unit leaders ahead of Ondo APC governorship primaries. Says he's ready for any form of primary. Senators Tayo Alashodure, Yele Omogunwa, Right Honorable Oloyegun join campaign. Pressure mounts on NLC over planned protest. Dangote, okay, we've seen that before. Let's quickly see The Guardian before we comment. Nigeria falling out of top 4 African economies on weak currency. The Guardian newspaper now. Nigeria falling out on top 4 African economies on weak currency. 65 CSOs withdraw as NLC dares federal government mobilizes for nationwide protests. Okay, Nigeria hopeful of positive outcomes at WTO, says the minister. Conditional cash transfer to resume amid probe. Stop blame game, adopt Argentina's reforms, Atiku tells Tinubu. All right, quickly, Ololo, which of the stories are you going to take a look at? Do we look at Nigeria falling out of top 4 African economies on weak currency?
It's
and as you're commenting, remember that a lot of Nigerians move to other African countries to travel from there. They travel from there to UK, to US, saying it's cheaper to travel from those countries.
Yeah, so I think Nigeria as a nation now, we need a total overhaul. And we need this total overhaul so much so that our government should begin to listen to the people. Because it is the people that cannot deceive them, really, beyond people they have around themselves. Starting from Milei, that is the president of Argentina, when he came in, we have always called on the government to cut cost of governance. And if you want to know a government that is going to succeed, just look at their policies, their policy direction, and how they implement it. Beyond how they implement it, look at the people that these policies are going to favor. If you look at the budget, majority or a higher percentage of the budget is for themselves more than it is for the people. And it is the people that are supposed to, that are productive, that are supposed to be feeding the economy for the economy to grow. So why won't we slide down below 4th economy in Africa? And it is heartbreaking that Nigeria, that used to be the fastest growing in the world, one of the fastest growing economy in the world, and top leading African economy, has slided from 1st to 2nd to 3rd. Now reports are showing that we are going below 4th. What happened? Is it not the same people? So it should make us understand that leadership plays a pivotal role in whatever Nigeria as a people would become. I join my voice to say, let the government cut the cost of governance. Beyond the government cutting the cost of governance, it is also good that the government is talking about the conditional cash transfer, talking about other kinds of palliatives. But as a people, we know that we should have grown beyond palliative. Palliative should be given only in terms of emergencies.
As you're speaking, it brought me to remembrance what Soludo said when he was coming in. That report he wrote when he was coming in of what he would do. He said that when we keep doing the same thing the same way, you don't expect a different result. And don't you think that is the level we are in now, to try to change the way we do things to see if we can get a different and better result?
But for me, I'm not seeing the government trying to change. Personally, I've been in the space, engaging them. We are seeing people who are doing the same thing over and over.
Again.
Unfortunately, we are talking about conditional cash transfer now. Look at the people that will benefit from it. Look at the people that would even begin to mobilize these beneficiaries. And look at the criteria that they would use. You find out that it is still the same set of people. MSMEs are suffering. We are talking of no light. What the government is supposed to do now is, see, shut down excessive traveling, cut down cost of governance, critically look at power, critically look at security, critically invest in the youth, especially in the area of the 21st century job employments that we are talking about. AIs are there, agriculture is there. These are areas that the government is not talking about. And every year, we see millions of Nigerian youths who are being graduated, and this they don't have plans for them. So I'm now asking, who are the people that will really grow the economy?
All right, we can go on and on, but I think that's the much time could allow us to take on the press review for this morning. If you want to learn more of what is trending in our society today, you can go pick up any of the papers, and of course, the Tribune says economists dissect Nigeria's problems, prefer solution. That's and more on our dailies today. Thank you so much, Samuel Ololo, and of course, Nonso Orakwe, for being here this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us. Nana and Danamba will wish us well for this week.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Don't give up on Nigeria.
All right, we have more coming up on Good Morning Anambra Show. Please stay.